Alexa, lower the volume. Alexa, lower the volume. Good morning, brothers and sisters. Happy Friday. This is the morning edition of Encounters. Sprites, Mama Linda, Jesse, Pookie Bear, Donald P., George, Calvin Berman, I think it's Burnham, Mr. GPT, Ovart, Summer, everybody come gardening, Angel. Welcome to Encounters. You've heard about the show down in Bristol. Karen Morgan, welcome. Hey, Karen. Welcome to everybody coming in here. Hey, Chesno, brother. So the commander's got the day off. I purposely took the day off to do some live and also just to get things a little bit strained up around here. And just to logistically connect with some people today. I'll be heading over to a place I do workshops at today and reminding them of the events on Saturday night. Hey, Karen, good to see you. So we're very excited to be here. And April is on her way down with her daughter to Connecticut. You might have seen April's lives where she shows you the ships and everything and going on board the ships with our space family. And she will be with us with Chesno, myself, Kit Kat, and Johnny will be with us on the live through the virtual live from New Jersey. So in a sense, all five of us will be together, 4 physically and 1 remotely through TikTok Saturday night. And then, of course, we have the greater group of our Ashtar Command contact group that will be with us. So I don't know how many people, I've got a sense of how many people are coming, but again, today I'm spending time just to logistically be on the phones and messaging people about what's going on. And I see a person, Joseph, is popping in my request line there. So Joseph, you'll tell us, hey, Joseph, thank you for the follow. We are going to bring guests on in just a few minutes. So if you're new to the show, welcome. I am the rain has stopped. It's going to start clearing up. Later today, around 4 o'clock, the sun's coming out here in New England, where we are. All that rain is just going to the north. And the weekend is going to be really nice. We're going to have a good weekend. Really partly clear skies. I'm interested. Tina, where are you located? Good morning, Mercury Man. Tina, where are you located? What state are you in? And if there are people within this region who are interested in joining us, you're actually going to want to message me on TikTok here, message me here. I'm the main coordinator for the Ashtar. Oh, you're in Arizona. Well, you'll be able to watch us. You're interested in sharing a story or interested in what's happening with our event Saturday night? It's good to have you with us, Tina, in Arizona. And I'm just kind of looking at things. I got my tea going here. Not apple cider. I'm drinking tea this morning. Ice brewed tea. No, we can't wait either. Share a story. Another. All right, Tina, we'll bring you on. I'm going to bring Joseph on first here on Encounters, and we'll bring on. So here's how my interviews work. I'm talk show host for 21 years now, going on Pacifica NPR Radio in Connecticut, WESU-FM. I do a show dedicated to the Ashtar Galactic Command called the Cosmic Eye. I work with the Ashtar Command for people that are new, or maybe you've never heard of the Ashtar Command, but I've been working with the Ashtar Command, the star people, the positive beings of light, for many years before there was any internet. I'm somewhat, I'm a galactic in the sense psychic galactically, but I'm not a psychic that reads cards or anything like that. I don't use pendulums. I don't use crystal balls. I don't have neon lights behind me. Nothing like that. What you're going to get from this show is it's a real spiritual UFO talk show, and I'm dedicated to busting the matrix on planet Earth. So we're going to start. Hey, Pookie Bear. Hey, Alexander the Great. We're going to bring Joseph. We're going to bring Joseph on. Tina, we're going to bring you on. I'm going to bring you on too now. I'm going to bring Tina. Well, Tina, you have only 79 followers. So, will everybody follow Tina? We need to get her up to 200 today. So, Tina, we're going to work on getting you up to 200 followers so I can bring you on live. But good morning, Joseph. Welcome to Encounters.
Good morning. How are you?
Good. And where are you located, Joseph?
I'm in Southwest Arkansas.
Oh, great, great. And can you tell us, do you have something to share related to what our show's about?
Um,
We deal with UFOs, the ET subject matter, visitations. People tell us stories about that. Maybe you had a sighting. So I know you wanted to come on live. So in terms of that, I accepted your request. Do you have anything related to the whole subject?
yeah, you mentioned something about you've been speaking to light beings for
Oh, for
uh,
years. I mean,
yeah.
I'm a telepathic communicator. I came here from another world, which is Mars, and I came here and I volunteered to come here many years ago. Before, back in the 60s, is when I began my journey in this form. But where I come from, we're all human too. And Mars, a planet that has 10 to 15 million inhabitants, but most humans don't realize that Mars is a living, inhabited planet.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's very cool. And I do take questions. So if it's all new to you and you're trying to figure it all out, you've come to the best place to find it out with me because I have a lot of the answers because I actually am coming here beyond Earth from another place within the Astro Galactic Command, which are star people like us, but they're more advanced, spiritually more advanced. Spaceships are way beyond any Earth-based technology. There's a lot of things you'll learn here.
Yeah, I can feel the energy. I feel like um, I feel like a connection to the light being. I feel like we're all energy and we're all
Mm-hmm.
connected.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like a big network of consciousness that we all just have to learn to tap into. Right.
Yeah. So you like when you say that, that's true. I mean, we're all connected. That's the real pure essence of what it's about here is that we're bringing people from all over the world that are realizing this connection. There are people, I've interviewed so many people since last year who've had visitations by light beings, by star people, by different space beings. There's a lot going on that people don't realize, and more of it's going to happen. Have you ever had any visitations, any encounters or anything that you are aware of?
Not, I've seen, like, when I was a kid, I saw a spaceship, like, but other than that, I've never had any connection, like, that I
Well,
know of. It's
let's
never
talk
really
about that.
presented itself.
Well,
You
let's
know what
talk
I mean?
about you just brought up something that you shared, and I want to focus on that. How old were you when you saw that spaceship?
It had to be 8 or 9.
8 or 9. What year was that? Do you remember?
Let me think. Uh, I think 89 or 90.
89. Okay. So you're about 8 or 9 years old. So you do have something that happened to you, which is you had a sighting. When you saw
It
it,
was
can you describe what it looked like?
it was dark, so it was, but it was a red, like the ship looked red, and
Hmm.
not only did I see it, my brothers also saw it. We were actually playing hide and seek at the time,
Hmm.
but and we had found each other, and then we looked up and was like, "Whoa, what the hell was that?" But at
Was
that
it?
same time,
Mm-hmm.
you uh, like I think Fire in the Sky, that movie had came out maybe a couple years
Oh
later.
yeah, you're talking about Fire in the Sky. Yeah. The movie and
Yeah, so
the book. Well, the Fire in the Sky movie was a distortion of the true experience
and,
of
and
Travis Walton.
and then the Covenant, the book, the Covenant, and which is about the graves.
Yeah, the Zeta. The Zeta are lower. Most of them, not all of them, but the Zeta tend to be the ones that did the abductions in the 70s, 60s, 70s, 80s,
Yeah,
roughly early to mid 90s.
right. So I've never been abducted, but
Well,
I've
that's
seen their
good.
I've seen their presence.
Yeah.
I just
So
don't think I was
wait a minute.
in their.
You just said you seen their presence, and we
I,
get
I,
your.
I saw their ship. How
And how do you
how it's
know?
not
How do you know they were Zeta in that ship?
uh telepathically. I think they let us know they were there.
They were communicating with. When you say they, were they communicating with you and your brother, or just you?
All of us, because we all turned and was like, "What? Did you hear that?" And then we looked, and it was
So you
there.
all. So how many of you were there when you were seeing this?
Three,
Three.
three,
So the
yeah,
three of
three.
you, and you're about 8 or 9 years old.
Yeah, and my other brothers would be like 10, and then I have a little brother, so he'd be like 6 or 7.
Uh huh.
You know?
Interesting. So now we do see there's something about you that's interesting, and you do have a story. So you had three of you there, and did they tell you that they were Zeta, or what did they tell you?
It just told us to look. Uh, they didn't
I
show
mean,
us anything.
yeah, but
Just
they
the
communicated
knowledge.
with you. They didn't
Yeah.
communicate with you. That's why I'm saying, how'd you know they were Zeta?
I don't know. That book came in. It's like it resonated, man.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So
Right. So so you haven't had any more experiences or any interactive experiences with either the UFO things or the spaceship you're talking about since that time period, correct?
no, I haven't.
Okay. Okay. Fair enough. Well, it's very interesting. I knew there was something there that you had to share, and I'm so thankful that you shared your experience. I think that's what this show's about: people not being afraid. On this show, this show is a place where people can share their experiences. I'm a contactee since the '60s, so I'm not going to judge anybody. If you tell me a story and it's your experience, I'm not going to be clobbering you on the head and telling you didn't have that experience. I won't do that to anybody.
Right.
So I appreciate it, Joseph.
Oh,
In
it's no
Arkansas.
problem, man.
I mean, I appreciate you coming up here.
Uh,
And
it's
I'm
been
gonna. Yeah.
it's been cool, bro.
Well, I'm
I
glad
like
you're
your
here watching the show.
I,
It's a cool thing.
I like your frequency, bro. It,
Thank you. So you can read frequency. It's good. So and your frequency is good too, man. I can tell that
yeah.
if you do, you'll eventually have contact with the star people, which are more human. And I just think if you watch this show long enough, you'll start learning about that. So I appreciate you.
All right, bro.
All right, take care, man. Have a good one. That was Joseph, and let me just press the little button here. I'm gonna do this. Let's see what's going on with my thing. Here we go. And let me see who else we got here. Karen Morgan. Good morning, Karen. We'll bring Karen Morgan, 37, up here. She's our next person. This is Encounters, the morning edition. Hello, Grace. Nikki D. Grace, I'm saying good morning to Grace. I think she's in here. Karen Morgan, good morning.
Good morning, Captain. How are you?
We're doing good. We purposely took the day off, and we're just really happy, excited, relaxed, and the weather's going to clear up by late today, and we're going to have an awesome Saturday night.
I know. I'm excited about that. I can't wait to watch it. I've been in your live before and told you.
I know you have. Yeah.
Yeah, I told you of another encounter that I had, but I didn't tell you about the very first one that I had.
Let's do that. And also I'll bring Grace. Grace, I'm going to bring you up. I want to talk about the encounters you had in your London County, Grace, with the C5. We want to hear Grace's story because she has some stuff to tell, and I know it's important to hear that. So we're going to have her on too. So tell us about your first story.
Okay, great.
Oh, okay.
I had gone to. I was about 21, and a friend of mine was still in high school, and I'd gone to pick her up to take her home after school.
Mm-hmm.
And we got in and went. The counties, the county country roads around there are marked off like in sections.
Mm-hmm.
And when we left, we headed, I'm going to call it north.
Yeah.
We turned on the first section. Well, right up above us, right at that time, we noticed it was kind of football shaped. Now, this was back in about 75
Yeah.
or 74.
Yeah.
But it was a football shaped, and it was gray colored.
Yeah.
I didn't see any windows or anything in it, but when we made the first turn to the left, it like followed us there. I mean, it made the turn when we did. And
Oh, okay.
we was going, wow, what is that? You know? And we go to the end of the first section, and we made the second left turn, and it did also. And it didn't appear that it was but just a little ways above us. You know,
Mm-hmm.
probably, I don't know, maybe 3 football fields above us. It didn't seem far at all,
Yeah.
but
Wow.
it made that second turn, and so we went, wow, this is crazy. So we decided to go ahead and make the whole section. We made the third turn back to the left,
Mm-hmm.
and it did the same thing. It turned and
Mm-hmm.
went left with us. When we got back to town, which would have been when we turned to go back to town, which would have been
Mm-hmm.
another left, it just kind of bounced about 3 times. You know, it didn't bounce, but it went up and down about 3 times and then just
Mm-hmm.
shot off.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. But it had been following you. What year was this? Do you remember what year it was?
Yeah, it was probably about 1975 or
Wow.
1976.
And oh, Nikki D, we're going to bring you up too in a little bit. I just saw Nikki D say I saw something the night before last. So when this happened to you and it was following you, I find that interesting because the spaceship was following you. Did you feel any energy, or hey, Kit Kat, did you feel any energy regarding what was happening? Thank you,
I
Tony.
felt, yeah, I felt anxious, you know. Uh, it wasn't a great feeling. At that time, I wasn't into, energies and frequencies and things like
Right.
that. But I do remember, that I wasn't scared though. I wasn't,
Yeah.
I wasn't scared at all. It
Yeah.
was
Well,
like,
you wouldn't be. I mean, obviously, your inner guidance told you there was nothing to be scared of, correct?
right. I've never, in all of the times that I've seen them, I've never been scared.
Yeah. Well, you've had, when I've interviewed you, I felt like you've always had positive encounters,
Right. I have.
you know? And that's exactly the beautiful thing is when you have those encounters, those are most likely your star family that are encountering you, their spaceships. Have you, can you give any of our audience a little bit of, uh, like in terms of physical encounters, like physical, like if I were the space being, you're in your house and I knocked on your door, have you had any of those kinds of visitations?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
I haven't. I have a friend that I'm trying to get her in here because she has had an encounter with, and she calls it. It was a bright light, and I saw it one night
Mm-hmm.
when we were talking on FaceTime, and
Mm-hmm.
she put her screen out the window, and I could see it. and she's got a
Mm-hmm.
name for him.
Oh, she
And
has a name.
yeah, she's named him, and I'm trying to think of the name right now. It's not. It's uh
Now, so she named. Did she in the encounters that she had a visitation? She gave a name to the space being.
to the yes to the whatever that light was.
Oh, the light. So she saw a light. So what was the light? Can you describe the light as to what it was that she said
It
she
was.
saw?
It was well, and I saw it too that once, for just
Okay.
a short period because when I started looking, it kind of went away. But uh, it was a bright light that had uh, like 4 points on it. One that went up and down, and one that ran east and west. That's the way the light ran
Oh,
out like a star, except it was just
right.
four of them.
So it
And
sounds like it was a spaceship.
I think so. I think
Okay. Oh, right. Now I got you.
yeah.
Wow. Pretty
But
amazing.
I've never been afraid
Hmm.
with it.
Yeah. I think your next step is in my guidance is to remember when the ship was following you and try to make contact. You've known I've talked about this with people and they tell us their stories. Yeah, I think it's imperative. I would never say make contact if it was a negative encounter, but I
Uh-huh.
would say make contact if it's a positive encounter. So if you're having visual encounters with these spaceships, as you did, you
Uh-huh.
can also make you can make physical contact with them. A matter of fact, in this particular case, I would say do some meditations, like 30 minutes, not a long meditation, when you have time, 30 minutes a day, and just say again the word Christ of being of light. If you're a Christ of being of light in those spaceships that were following me, I am ready to make contact. I want to communicate with you. I want to facilitate this verbal communications. Can we do that? And I'm not afraid of your coming here to build some sort of a peaceful relationship of contact. So I think you should pursue that.
I think I will because in the end, I should say that to each one of the different situations that I have seen them with.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
yeah. I'm gonna do that. I'm
yeah.
gonna.
I'm being guided. I'm being guided by the command right now. I'm getting messages. I don't channel anything, people. I have my contact off planet. You should definitely focus on that.
Okay. I will do
Yeah,
that.
and let us know what happens in a few weeks when you initiate the contact. I want to know what who they are, where they're from. They're waiting for you to make the contact. They initially wanted to contact you, and they want to just let you know that they're there. It's not that they're not there; they're there. It's just that you need to make the initial contact.
Uh huh. Well, can you tell me about because everyone that I have seen have been different shapes.
Hmm.
What what about
Are you
what?
talking about the ships being different shapes?
Correct, right?
But when you
I've
see the
never
ships,
encountered a being
mhm,
just
what what does the energy feel with each of the different shapes of ships? Can you tell me?
um. Well, it's not. I know that it's not scary. The energy
Okay.
feels like I get real excited about it.
Hmm.
But as far as back then, I wouldn't know how to describe the energy.
Right. Okay.
Uh,
Yeah.
not compared to the energy that I
Right.
feel now.
Right. It's a
So,
different feeling.
well, yeah.
Very.
And I
Yeah. Of course.
not knowing, at that time, I wasn't, prepared to think about it.
Right.
I
You
mean, I
weren't in that mode.
encountered it, and, right. But now I
Interesting.
am. Yeah.
Well, now you're more mature. You're older, so you're able to, in terms of your consciousness, you're able to relate to things a little bit differently about your spaceship sightings than you were when you were younger.
Oh,
It's a little
that's
bit
right.
different.
Yeah. The last encounter that I had, and I'm 69. The last
Mm-hmm.
encounter that I had was about 4 or 5 years ago,
Wow.
and it wasn't a close encounter. It was we saw it. There was three of us
Mm-hmm.
that saw it,
Wow.
and my friend and I, yeah, we think that that's what it was. And it looked like that last one, it was coming across the sky at about mid-afternoon one day,
Mm-hmm.
and it looked like a a steam engine.
Mm-hmm.
That was the shape it had. It seemed like bigger wheels on the bottom, then it had a rectangle type
Yeah.
body, and it
Wow.
it moved really, really different.
Wow. That sounds interesting.
It
Well,
was.
definitely, I appreciate you being here for sure. It's
Well, thank you, and I will go and I'll report back with you.
yeah, yeah, definitely do. Everyone, say good morning to Karen, and we are doing interviews this morning, and we're going to be live tonight on our bigger platform. And for some reason at night we have a couple hundred people that come in here. So, Karen, thank you again.
Thank you for having me up.
All right, and we'll let Karen down to listen and watch and all that good jazz. Let's see here. All right, so hey, good morning, Karen. Good morning, everybody out there. You're watching Encounters, the popular night show that's on usually at 11 o'clock in the evening on TikTok, the number one UFO spiritual talk show on social media. And we're glad to be on here this morning. I know people aren't used to seeing us in the morning here, but we are looking to build up the knowledge that we are here, here on TikTok. People know we're on in the evening, but there's a lot of people that are on only during the morning that probably even know we actually existed. So now this is the number one spiritual talk show on social media. Alexa, change the music to ambient space music. Alexa, switch the music to ambient space. Alexa's giving me some. Alexa, 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 play ambient space music. Oh, now she's playing it. She's listening to me. A voice of one. Good to see you. Young Skywalker, thanks for the grams. My last sighting was midday. Looked like, hey, I want to get, let me see who that I wanted to bring up here. I will know in a second here. Wait a minute. She's got to be here. Nikki. I think it was Nikki D that had the sighting. Nikki D, you had the sighting last night, correct, Nikki D? I believe it was Nikki D. Oh, well, Nikki, we're going to bring you up. Nikki D had a thing happen. Nikki D's coming on live with the commander. So we're going to bring Nikki D up. Welcome to Encounters. Hey, we know Nikki D.
Hi.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
We're just excited. We're getting amped up for the weekend, for Saturday night, and I'm just glad to be doing some stuff this morning here. So let people know a little bit about where you are, and you just had a sighting the other night.
Yeah, the other night I go outside every night and look at the sky. I've always done that. It's just called me. I do that
Yeah,
every single night. Um,
yeah.
but so the other night I was just staring up at the sky and I saw like it was like a flash, but it was like a circle shaped flash,
Mm-hmm.
like as big as like the moon kinda.
Yeah.
It was like, like yellowish orangey type, and like it
Mm-hmm.
flashed and then it went away. And then out came like blinking lights. Blinking
Blinking lights.
blinking lights, and then they just disappeared. And
Wow.
I was like,
Now,
what
now
was
let's go
that?
backwards a little bit. So the first light was, what color was the first light?
It was like a it was like the color of like the orangey-ish yellow flash type light.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and
And
that came out.
how long did that light last? What time was this?
That it only lasted for like, it was just like 2 seconds. It was just,
Two
it looked
seconds.
like a,
Wow.
I don't know if it looked like a portal opening up, or I don't know.
Hmm.
It was different.
Yeah. So
So
after that happened, these other lights, did they just appear out of nowhere after that occurred?
yeah, it's like they came out of it, like where that light was,
They
and
came
they
out
went,
of the light.
yeah.
Ah, now I get it. It sounds like a galactic portal opened up to our planet and these ships came right through it.
It was insane. It was beautiful.
It was beautiful. Were you able to,
Yes.
I mean, I know it happened so quickly. Were you able to get any video footage of that event from
No,
last
I
night?
didn't. Of
Mm,
course not.
yeah. Well,
My
how could
phone's
you? I mean,
always inside.
well, yeah, you never expect something like that. You always, you should bring your phone outside instead of inside.
I
That's how
know,
you
right?
can, yeah, yeah, yeah. But these things happen when you least expect it, right? So
Yeah.
that is interesting. So how many of these lights came out of what I call, it sounds like a galactic portal. How many of these lights came out?
There was like three of them.
Three of them.
Three.
And they
Yep,
were,
and
and what?
they were blinking, just blinking, like
Salt blinking.
yeah.
Hmm.
Um, it looked like a blinking stars that came out of them, kind of. That was
Really
the way that
interesting.
they looked like.
And what
And then
color
they
were they?
just disappeared. They were like
Yeah.
white, like a star, like that
Did
color.
they disappear when they came through this portal, which I'm now assuming it is some sort of an opening for them to come from another dimension? Did they just come into our atmosphere, the three unknown craft, and just like take off and disappear?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
That's what it looked like to me.
Yeah. And they can do that. I mean, I'm just speaking from knowledge. They can come and open the portal up into our dimension on Earth, and then they can just take off within our atmosphere and go wherever they want to go, wherever they think they're going. They can do it.
Yeah.
Mm,
I thought it was different. Never
interesting.
seen anything like that.
Yeah. Betsy says, "I want to be part of the space family." You already are. People, who say, "I want to be part of the space family," just like yourselves as human beings or space people that are in human bodysuits having a human experience. So, in a sense, a lot of you are part of a space family, even though you're not aware of it yet. Pretty soon, you will be totally aware of it. And I think all these events, like you're talking about, the sightings that happened, the portal that opened up, the three craft that came through, there's a lot of stuff going on out there, and people need to get ready for in the next year and a half for what's going to be happening around the planet, above our planet, what's coming here from beyond Earth, because there's a lot of things that are going to transpire that are going to affect every single person that's living on Earth. It will, you know. That was really cool
Yep.
that you shared that because that's what's going on. They're starting to come in through to the Earth from different galactic portals. They can come in anywhere in the Earth they want. They could be in Asia. They could be on a small island above an island in the Pacific. The spaceships are coming from all over the universe.
Mm.
Yep.
And it was like a couple last year.
Mm-hmm.
I was outside. I was messing around with a pointer, one of the laser pointers,
Mm-hmm.
and I was just messing around, like, going to tree to tree. And it was dark out. I didn't think anything of it until I heard you guys talking about that's like a to use for contact too. And every time I did it, this like light would come.
Yeah.
It would come. It looked like I was like, what is that? It looked like it was far away, but it looked like a ship coming. And like I look back at it and see it now. I thought it was
Yeah.
just, I didn't know what it was, but
Yeah.
after watching your show, I've put a lot together now.
Oh, good. 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 You
Realize a
know,
lot of things that I see is to keep it. Don't
you'll
be.
learn a lot here for sure.
Yeah.
And yeah, well, I appreciate you sharing that story. I mean, every story is important that people
Yep.
share here. And, we love everybody. So, I just love to hear people's stories and
Of
people coming out of the
course.
closet. I think it's important. It's a safe place on my show. And, it's this show because the reason why our show is popular, people know there's a real show on social media that has somebody who is a contactee, somebody who's had numerous UFO sightings or spaceship sightings and can relate to people when they tell a story versus somebody who gets on a big network and says, "Oh, we should do a UFO show." And then the
Yeah.
talk show host has no experience whatsoever. They get the big bucks, and they're sitting there
And it's all
interviewing
fake.
people. It's all fake. It's all fake.
Yeah. And
And
it's like, why do you
here,
want to hear that when the real stuff's really going on? And
right,
it
you
doesn't
know,
have to be fake.
no. And the fact of here is all the guests I've had in the last year, I can count my, fingers. I've had hundreds of people since 2023 share their stories, visitations, sightings. Everything's happening for a reason for everybody. And I appreciate that, your story as well.
But yeah. I will
Yeah.
be seeing you guys tomorrow.
Yes, we'll see. You're coming from Rhode Island, correct?
Yes, I am.
All right. And are you? If I gave you directions, hopefully you shouldn't have any problem finding us.
No, I probably won't. I'll
Okay,
be too
good.
easy.
Well, we're going to
All right.
be happy to have you. We have folks coming from the region that are coming to our big event Saturday night in Connecticut, where we're going to be having visual contact with the Ashtar Command spaceships. And my friend April, who you've seen her live from Northern Vermont, who's been on the ship, she's going to be physically appearing with me. Kit Kat, who's coming from Long Island, she'll be there. We'll have other people there, my coordinator, Greg, and his wife, Elaine. They don't have TikTok or Facebook. They don't use the social media app. They'll be there. A lot of different people will be joining us. If you don't believe in any of this stuff, I got news for you. I'm going to bust your matrix. So I know we get people in here that come here, they're curious or they're just non-believers, but understand that your inner spirit guided you to my show. Maybe the TikTok algorithm did it, but I will tell you, I love busting people's belief systems that don't believe in any of this stuff. I just love, not that I'm getting down on them. I just know I like to challenge people that think that nothing exists out there. I like to challenge people that live in a 3D world in a little box that think that everything is basically what's on TV on Good Morning America or on CNN News or what's on on some of these channels on cable. I love to challenge people because I came here not to be able to be nice and be saying, okay, you don't have to believe this, you don't have to believe anything. I'm here to challenge and bust your belief systems here on this show. Beyond interviewing people, and I do, and I know I get the people that are skeptical and have no idea what's happening, and they think the world they're living in is just the way it is with McDonald's or going to Walmart or going to work and going to school and just living the 3D world and think that's it, and then they think that's the whole thing on Earth. I got news for you. If
Yeah,
you're here
there's a
watching
big
this,
surprise. Haha.
I got news for you. If you can smell what the commander's cooking, right? I took that quote from the WWE wrestling guy. What's his name? The Rock or Dwayne, who's in real life he's from Hawaii, I think. And yeah. So the thing is, I'm definitely gonna bust your belief systems, no matter who you are, where you are. I don't care who you are. I've been on this journey too long not to. I came to Earth here to change the planet, you know. And there's a number of you out there that know what I'm talking about. Hey, Nikki, thank you. I can't wait to see you, and we'll look forward to seeing you tomorrow.
Yes. All
All
right.
right. All right, Nikki D. Many blessings to
Bye.
you.
Bye, guys.
All right. All right. All right. And that's, let me just do this here. We're going to bring up someone else that I believe had some interesting. So Deep Pockets, it's not astral. Let me explain something. It's not called an astral ship. Ashtar, Ashtar. Let me put it in here for you, man. So it's Ashtar. So people get the name right. Ashtar Command. So I'll just help you out, brother. Ashtar Command is the actual space grouping. The galactic levels of light are Ashtar Command, just so you know. And who was the person that had some stuff going on here? Let me go backwards. I'm going to bring this person on if I can find them in my thing here. Oh, here it is. Jacob Davis. Jacob Davis, we want to bring you on Encounters. Jacob Davis. Let's see if we can bring Jacob up here. Jacob, you are invited to join the most popular show. Here we go. Jacob Davis, good morning, sir.
Hey, good morning.
I'm glad to have you in there. I was reading your comments, and that's how I usually pick my guests, and whereabouts are you?
I'm from Georgia.
Oh, great. Nice to have you with us up here. So tell us, I like to get some background when people share things in sentences. Can you tell me a little bit of background with your encounters with UFOs or ETs or anything like that?
Okay. Well, the first time I've had any encounters, I remember I was a kid. I was 10 years old. It was me, my sister, and my dad, and we were heading home from church that night. And we were a couple miles out from my home, and we was on a back road, and then suddenly we came into this thick fog. And I remember looking up at the sky, and my dad looked up out the window. He slowed down the car, looked out the window, and he said, "What the F is that?" And it looked like a triangle, but it had lights on each corner, no sound, and it was just hovering, slowly moving.
Wow.
And I don't remember anything happening after that. Like my memory just went blank. I don't know
Really?
if it was out of some kind of trauma or maybe something else.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that was my
I
first encounter.
I think did you consider having like that you had maybe missing time?
Yeah, because I didn't remember the trip home after that.
What year was this? Just let's recap. What was the year?
It's probably 2009.
2009. So what I'm getting really quickly as I'm listening to, I'm picking up on the energy. Yeah, you definitely were taken aboard a ship, and and they made it so you wouldn't remember the experience. Now, how many hours were you missing time of during that point in 2009? Do you remember?
I couldn't remember the whole night, not until the next.
Wow. Were you at the same location when you came back? Do you
No, I was in my
remember?
bed. I just remember waking up and thinking, "Was that a dream?" uh, but
Oh, so you were
but my
sleeping in your
family,
bed.
yeah,
Okay, go
but
ahead.
my sister and my dad, they remember it as if they didn't lose time. It's like I was the only one that lost it.
Really?
Yeah,
So they didn't lose any time, but you're the one who did lose time.
yeah, and I don't
Mhm.
know if that's because, like you said, they took me on board, or just seeing it traumatized me, and I did not want to remember it. But opens.
Yeah. Maxim says you should see a hypnotist. So Maxim, I agree. You should.
Oh man,
Well,
oh man, yeah. You
uh,
heard of the Benny and Bonnie Hill?
I met Bonnie Hill before she died back in '93. I met her at the UFO conference. I was doing the Intergalactic TV Network TV show, and I talked to her. I couldn't get her on camera. She didn't want to be interviewed, but we talked off camera. I did meet her when she was alive. Yeah.
Wow, wow. What was your experience with her? What'd she say?
She told me some things about their experience being on board a ship, being showed star charts.
Yeah,
She was very much not interested too much in being interviewed, but I had a nice conversation with her. I couldn't get her to go on my TV program at the time, and I was bummed out about that. But I mean, I got to meet her, which was I don't know how that happened. I was in the lobby, she was there, and we sat down and we ended up talking to each other. Yeah.
man, that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah. She was famous. Benny and Barty Hill were very famous. There's books that were written about them. And I got to meet her back in '93. She was still physically alive.
Yeah, I've listened to their tapes, and absolutely, I'd say it's unbelievable just because it's amazing. Uh, it's
Uh,
facts.
I think Alabama UFO Ghost Magnets asking, was your mother a C? Can you explain what that is, Alabama, where you're saying C something? I'm not sure what that means. And I'll throw you the question that this person's asking you. So I definitely feel if you had missing time, you were probably taken physically out of your bed because nobody would have known you were not in your bed. They weren't in your room. So what they did is they took you out of your bed somehow onto a spaceship, and then you were back in your bed, not realizing you had gone anywhere but being in your bed. Correct? That's I mean, obviously, with missing time stories, and I've read and seen documented stories from Bud Hopkins, who wrote many books on this, and he was a hypnotist, that usually when you have missing time, wherever you are, and some people have had missing time where they were driving somewhere or they were picked up somewhere and they were left on the side of a road. That's different, but there's all different types of missing time stories with these space people that would do things like this, or different beings. And
Yeah.
normally if they're doing that, it's not normally necessarily a positive experience. The fact that they're doing that and they're not letting you remember anything, that there's less of that happening now because of what's happening with the vibration of the earth. So, but continue on, Jacob. I want to hear some more of
Okay.
of what's going on with you.
Now I'm just going to connect that with something that I feel it's connected to. A couple of years ago, I remember having this very vivid, intense dream that I was in my bed and had something like this claw come pick me up. And
Ooh,
the next thing I know, I'm strapped without clothes to a gurney, being hauled down this hallway, and everything's
oh my
white.
God.
And then next thing I remember is being lowered down to my bed and waking up and thinking, "Wow, that was a crazy dream,"
Well, that's the thing. They want you to think it's a dream. So when I look at a story like this, let me ask you: do you think it was a dream?
Man,
Honestly,
honestly, I can't say yes or no because
mhm,
it's vague. It's vague in my mind.
mhm, mhm, mhm.
Um,
I don't think it was. I'm going to tell you, it wasn't a dream. The ETs that did that to you were able to utilize your mind to make you think you were dreaming the whole thing. Hey, Steve.
hey,
So you didn't have a dream. I'm picking up on the energy. You actually were taken on a gurney, strapped by ETs that had like claw type hands or whatever.
okay. And after I had this dream, I went to a chiropractor and they did an X-ray on me. And I had this piece of metal in my hip with a little
You're,
scar, and I've never.
mm-hmm.
It's the size of a BB, but
Yeah.
there's nothing there. I've never had an incident where something would be lodged there that I can remember. Neither does my family,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that might be I don't know, not
Let me explain
traumatized.
something. You didn't have a dream. I'm going to give you information. Those beings that did that weren't of the highest levels of light at all. Actually, I don't know why. Well, they did that for whatever purpose they did it, but they interfered under universal law with your physical realm of your body. They're not supposed to even do that. So when you said it felt like a weird dream, you didn't have a dream at all. I want you to know it was real. They took
Okay.
you off planet. The fact that they put you strapped down in a gurney on their ship or whatever they did is not that wasn't a positive experience. And whatever
No.
they implanted in you, you were basically having what I call an abduction experience versus a contactee experience. Contactee experience is when you have things like star people, men and women from other planets that are there to help, and help you and learn things, that are there to love you and be with you. Your experience was not a very loving experience whatsoever. I mean, obviously, what I'm getting is you were definitely abducted. They
Mm.
took you against your free will and they abducted you, and then they implanted something in you, whether ever it was a tracking device, whatever they were doing, that's what they did. And then they made you think it was this dream, which in fact it wasn't a dream whatsoever. You were physically taken on their ship. They created an atmosphere in their environment that would look somewhat like going down a hallway, like in a hospital, but you were actually on a spaceship and you were abducted.
Mm. Mm.
Unfortunately, you were.
See,
You were totally abducted.
before I had this dream, I'm just going to go ahead and throw this out there. I am a Christian, um, but I'm not going to talk a whole bunch about that. But I was listening to this preacher before I had this intense dream of being taken up by a claw. I was listening to this preacher, and he said that if you don't believe in UFOs, you're mentally insane. And I want you to go outside for 1 hour on a clear night and watch the stars. So I just went out there thinking that it was a lie, and I watched the stars for 1 hour, and I started seeing what looked like stars, but they were moving.
Mm-hmm.
And they were blinking, but not in sync, like a plane would
Right.
do.
Right.
And they would start changing directions, and it would get brighter or dimmer and then disappear.
Yeah.
So the more I would go outside and I'd see these things night after night, hundreds of them, then I had that intense dream.
Yeah.
And yeah. So
Yeah. So,
that's my experience with them.
well, yeah, your experience is, so here's what I want you to do because you were abducted by these beings. And has anything occurred recently, like this year?
Yeah. I've seen them this year. I've seen them.
Okay.
And I've had a weird kind of experience with that. I'm not sure if that's in my mind or what, but I remember it's probably a month ago. I walked
Mhm.
outside and just something told me to look up, and I looked up and I saw one. It was moving, and I was focusing on it, and I could see this person's image in my head,
Mm.
and they told me, look, keep looking. And I remember I felt faint in my heart, and
Mm.
I just dropped to my knees and I said, I cannot look at this.
Oh my God.
It was terrifying me.
Yeah, yeah, that's not good. That's not good.
And it
Here's what I
was
want you to here's what I want you to do. Now I'm gonna operate on my Ashtar command mode here, beyond being a professional talk show host, because I come from the Ashtar command, which are the galactic star people, our space family, which are human that are very spiritual, Christed beings of light. I want you to do something for me, and this is going to stop them from interfering with you physically. They're probably not going to like this, but that's okay because we're going to bust the matrix and we're going to make sure they don't interfere with you where you're located. And what I'm going to do for you right now is something I need to do for you. I sometimes have to do this. So I'm going to be sending one spaceship from the Ashtar Command over your location right now. Give me a moment. We're going to send one spaceship cloaked over your location right now from the Ashtar Command. In a few minutes, you're going to feel an energy shift in your location. The ship is going to stay there permanently. These other beings with the claws or whatever they are, they're actually going to be very afraid of what's going to be happening now because now they're going to be stopped from doing what they've been doing to you. These beings that implanted you, um, I will tell you this, that they're going to be sent away from the earth. They're going to be sent back to their home system, wherever they came from. As a matter of fact, we're going to put two spaceships very high up over your location in the night sky, or what you call your sky. We're going to send 15 Ashtar Command people off the ships to your home. You won't see them. They'll be cloaked to protect you. They're going to put a beam, a tensor beam, a dome around your location. They're going to clear all the energies out in each room. Any vestiges of energy that these beings left to try to keep a tracking of you are being dismantled as I speak. I want you to close your eyes for a moment. I want you to think of the beauty of the Christed energies of light. This is going beyond being Christian or being Jewish or being Muslim or anything. I want you to just sit there quietly for a moment. And I want you to take a deep breath. And as you take that breath, breathe in through your mouth, and breathe out through your nostrils about 3 times. Relax. And I want you to think of the beauty of light, a beautiful light that is radiant light that is now engulfing your whole being and your whole home. And as you see that beautiful light engulfing, you'll see that all the energies that were just totally of a low vibration that have been penetrating into your home or frequency are now being dismantled. In a moment, I want you to tell me how you feel.
Yeah, I felt kind of uneasy, to be honest with you.
Well,
I
that's because of what you went through, and they did a big job on your home. They really, really brought their energies in there. They're going to be that energy is going to be cleared out.
and really, I don't want to sound rude or nothing, but dude, I don't want nothing put on me. You understand?
No, not no, yeah, no. This is they were putting stuff on you. These other beings, the Astral Command, are Christed beings of light. They work with the Christ. As Jesus, known as Sanandorf Planet, was the first star being that came to Earth to help people, but they didn't understand who Christ was. So what is happening is that energy was put on you so heavily that you're going to see everything kind of shaken up just a little bit, because it's going to be all this heaviness that's going to be pushed out of there. There's no attachments to you. The beings that were abducted you, they put attachments to you that are being detached because they did that to you to try to control you in some way. So the beautiful beings, the men and women from the command, are there to help. They're not there to make you feel anything other than safe. And the ships will leave as soon as they know that these other beings are out of there. They did a job on you, actually, brother. And yeah, they did.
And it's hard for me to even trust this because
It's different.
this is something that's 20 years ago. This is science fiction, and now this is reality for everybody.
Yeah, it is.
That's
And I've interviewed so many people, Jacob, that I've met here, become friends with, like you. I consider you a friend now, that have had these experiences. I've had the people with the positive experiences, and just experiences totally opposite, like you with the implants. And that's just, any being that implants, any group of beings that implants something in you, a metal or whatever, they're not good. And their purposes are not positive. They're not there to help you, you know and I'm just so happy you're here, because I do workshops where I help people, and I always work in Christ consciousness. I always work in that purity of light. And I know everything I do when I help somebody, because I didn't come from earth, I came from that Christ level. It's all about love. And when beings come and do things to you that are not about love, that's not good. And because they tap their energy into your bedroom, into your home, what we're doing is we're going to clear all that garbage out of there. And it might take a few days, because they did a total job years ago on your encounter, and they're still watching you. We want to make sure that they don't even have any interactions with you anymore, because they have done a job on what they were doing. And I feel the energy. I know what they did to you, brother. It wasn't right, you know
yeah,
and
and
you're very much loved. We love you.
I've had a worse experience than that, but
Hmm.
not with a UFO or an encounter, but messing in the occult.
Yeah, we
And
don't want to get into that. We don't want to get into that. We'll stay out of that part. It's interesting how people with UFO stories have had other experiences unrelated. I do understand it. I do understand that, but we'll stay away from that. That also probably messed things up for you too. That certainly didn't help, but we won't get into it. But on the ET front, what the command will do is clear all that energy out, regardless of what it is. They'll bring in such beautiful, loving energy that they'll get rid of all that stuff that affected you in a negative way. And you're really a beautiful being. If to look at your profile, the essence of who you are is very, very beautiful. It's just that you didn't have so many beautiful experiences with this, and that's because they figured they can take advantage of you because you didn't know any better. I mean, how are you going to know? I mean, when you have an encounter with different ETs, you don't know what's going to happen. And they certainly tried to do a number on you, but I guarantee you, always operate, because I know you're a person that believes in Christ, but I look at Christ from a cosmic level, not from an earth-based level. Um, but as long as you have that foundation, always allow yourself saying, I am a Christed being of light. I tell everybody who's ever been abducted or whatever, change the frequency. Say, I'm a Christed being of light. I'm a Christed being of love. I am light. I'm a radiant light being in human form. And as you envelop that belief system, I guarantee you, and plus with the help we're giving you now, I've done this with many, many guests here on my show that I needed to do this with. And days later, those people had no more problems, no more abductions, nothing. So it's going to feel a bit uneasy because it's a different energy. But I guarantee you, when you have that love energy that's coming in there to clear out all that garbage, I want to hear in the future, in a couple of days, how you feel, because you're going to have no more problems anymore.
I certainly hope that it would just stop.
Well,
um,
yeah. You know how you have people, Jacob, that, like people, like, if take the analogy of a kid that gets bullied in school, right? Kid's a good kid, the guy or the kid that's 13 or 14, not bothering anybody. They're just really good. They're happy. And then you have these three bullies that come around because they're so happy. They got to get in there and mess up their life, make them feel bad, call them names. So I'm saying is there's positive people and there's people that are negative people. Even on Earth, you've got your good people and you got your not so good people in human form, right? So
yeah,
look at it this way. In space, you've got higher dimensional beings of light that are good people, and then you'll have the negative bullies, which are the negative ETs that are bullying people on Earth, and I use them as being bullies. They're going in there and doing things to people they shouldn't be doing at all. It's against universal law anyway, but they're doing it anyway. They've been doing it for as long as they've been able to get away with it. And I can tell you on a planetary scale, any negative ETs that are out there, the Ashtar Command is coming after you, and you're going to be booted right off this planet right now. There's no place for them. I don't care whether they're reptilians. I don't care if they're Zeta. I don't care if they're Draconians. I don't care who they are. If they're negative ETs abducting people in their sleep or whatever, they're being escorted off the planet right now. We did a whole show about that a few nights ago. They're being taken off on a one-way trip, and they're being taken on Ashtar ships off planet. They're being sent back to where they came from. They're not going to be able to come back here. The planet's going into a transformational stage right now where there's not going to be any of that garbage going on. And I'm sharing this with everybody. Oh, Don, is it Fagan or Fagan? Yes, Don. You can, if you have enough followers, Don. Yeah, you do actually. Don needs another Don needs another 80 people to follow him. I'm going to follow you, Don. Everybody follow Don, Fragn. This is what we do, Jacob, for those that don't have over 200 followers. We try to help people who want to tell their stories. I want to thank you for being here, man. Keep me abreast of what's going on. You're a beautiful person. I'm sorry you went through all this, but I'm glad you're on the show.
yeah, man. Just happy to share my experience with everybody.
Oh, it's a pleasure, man. I think a lot of people, you learn from hearing your stories. Everyone here learns something, and I really do appreciate you.
All right. Y'all have a good day, and Jesus loves y'all.
Yep, and that's right. There you go. There you go. And let's see here. Don, if you'd like to come up, we have to get you up to 200. Don has 124. Can we get him up real quick to 200? Don is Don Fragn. That's so you want to follow Don Fragn. Everybody follow him. We'll get him up on the show here. He's at 124. So at some point we need to get him up to 200. If you have a story to share, this is Encounters, the morning edition. We're usually on late night. We have a really big show at nighttime. We have a couple hundred people usually watching all over the world. We're trying to do some morning shows. And a part of the reason I'm on this morning is we're getting ready for a big event on Encounters Saturday night with our Ashtar Command contact group. My friend April from Vermont, who, if you've not heard of her, she's been on the spaceships in northern Vermont in the mountains about 12 times already. And the 12th time was just the other night. So thank you. I think there's a lot going on. Mellow Punk says it was a giant forge. Mellow Punk, can you explain your story a little bit? I'm not sure. I'm getting the middle of your comment. All right, Alien, hello. Good to see you. Linda Norland, good to see you. Don, are you able to ask about me to the fleet? I think I had a being experience in public. We want to get Don on here, so let's get him up to 200 followers. He's at 126. We have 135. Everybody's sharing like with anybody you know that is a person that actually would be interested in watching the show. Share the show now. Please follow. We have 10,800 people following, liking the show, I should say. We've gotten 2,100 people that have viewed the show since I came on this morning. That's a lot of folks. Don, we want to get Don up here, but we have to get Don up to 200. So I'm definitely going to do that with him. As we're doing that, if anyone else would like to share, can I communicate with our star family through meditation? Let's see here. Lisa, we're going to bring you up here so you can talk to me directly. So we bring people with questions on here, people that have stories. I love to have you on here. And Lisa, don't be afraid to come on here. Just accept my request. And we'll definitely answer your question live on here this morning on Encounters, the number 1 spiritual UFO talk show on social media. That's true. And almost a good morning. A good morning to Lisa. How are you, Lisa?
I'm good. Good morning.
Good morning. It's good to have you with us. Whereabouts are you located?
I'm in Pennsylvania. Let me turn off my
Great.
speaker. Hold on one second.
Turn off the speaker, yeah.
All right. Okay.
Oh, there you go. So tell us, and you had a question, and also I'm going to ask you, of course, I always do, have you had any experiences with space people?
No, not at all. I've become awakened almost a year ago, and it's been a fabulous journey. I meditate all the time, and it's just been a wonderful life since I found God. And so I'm open to all aspects. I have a very open mind now. And I like your, when you come on, I try to follow you as much as I can. But I believe in our star people, but I just don't know how, if you want to communicate with them, how you do it, I'm not sure I want to invite them into, I'm not sure if I'm ready to go on a ship or anything like that, but just communicating would be very interesting.
Yeah, I think part of that is the energy level of being centered in a Christed conscious state.
Okay.
One of the things I teach people is that we have to be willing to be at a centered point. And so, like I'll say, do the U, the Om, those are the 2 key vibrational patterns of words that are used when you're, starting to just get centered and clear in your mind of consciousness. So when you do that, you're able to say, I wish to connect with my star family. Sometimes people see spaceships and they'll say, Commander, I've seen a spaceship. I feel it's very friendly. And most likely the beings are friendly. If that energy is a feeling that somebody has, then of course, at that point, you're able to proceed that's going to be good. And then therefore, I tell people, meditate in your own spare time for 30 minutes or whatever, facilitate that communications, because we're basically telepathic human beings. We are able to telepathically communicate with our star family once we initiate the contact, but people need to learn how to do that. So I think one of the things on the numerous interviews I've done is a lot of the people that I've talked to that are contactees have used meditation to facilitate eventually making contact with our space family.
Well, I've been doing so well. I meditate about 2 hours a day, an hour in the morning, an hour in the evening, sometimes longer. And I've come to notice now, because I'm getting so good at meditating, that I do take myself into another dimension. I feel the energy through my body. I see colors, and I'm trying to take that into a deeper level. And so that's why, because I'm getting so much better at meditating, that's why I thought I would just experiment with this a little bit and see what could come about,
Yeah.
Because I am open-minded. So that's all. That's all I wanted to really ask.
Well, I'm glad you did. And I appreciate that so much coming up here. That's what our show's about. So
Yeah. I
Mellow
really
Punk will
enjoy
bring.
your show. I enjoy your show a
Oh,
lot.
thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
And we enjoy having you on the show. So thank
Thank
you.
you.
That's Lisa in
Okay.
Pennsylvania. We thank you for being here. And we're doing a whole lot of interviews with people this morning, so we appreciate it. We'll get
Yeah, this is
Lisa
the first
down.
time I ever went live with anybody.
Really?
Yeah, so I was a
Well,
little
yeah.
nervous, but it was fun. Thank you.
We treat people good here because I am a contactee and I've had experiences, so we appreciate it.
Thank you. You have a good day.
You too, Lisa. And that was Lisa. And Mellow, I think Mellow. Let me get to Mellow. Mellow has a story to tell. We're going to bring Mellow up here. Let's see, and we'll find out where Mellow is. Our next guest is Mellow. We have quite a few guests on here this morning. And Mellow, just press the accept button, and I think you've got enough followers to go. I have 311. There you go. Wayno, thank you for the roses. And Mellow, welcome to the show.
Hey, can you guys hear me fine?
Yes, you're sounding great. And where are you located?
I'm in southwestern Indiana.
Oh, okay.
I
Welcome,
was at
Southwestern Indiana.
I was right in the path of totality, so that was pretty cool.
All
But
right. So tell us a little bit about yourself. And I always ask the first question is, when did your experiences start?
all right, well, that's kind of what I wanted to talk about. I was in my early or late teens. I got into drugs, the whole party scene and whatnot. That went by, whatever, and I became an alcoholic because of that. And
Hmm.
now I have 5 years
Mm-hmm.
since I've touched a drink, and I have uh, it don't bother me. I can be around it. It's just
Mm-hmm.
something I chose. I didn't want to bring with me anymore,
Mm-hmm.
you know. But as soon as I got my mind right, stopped drinking a little bit, I got upset. I got obsessed with aliens. I've watched
Mm-hmm.
every show. I've watched your show. I know all the people's experiences by heart. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you guys are kind of like my superheroes. Like if I would have seen,
Oh, thank you.
like I believe, these experiencers, and not all of them, but I can kind of tell
Right.
when someone's legit and when someone's just
Mm-hmm.
trying to. Uh, but what I wanted to say, and I never really was religious, and I really wouldn't consider myself religious. I mean, I believe in God and stuff. But what I wanted to say is, as soon as I got off the alcohol and my mind started to clear up, you know, instantly I got obsessed with the whole UFO alien thing. I always thought it was
Mm-hmm.
cool, but never really gave it two shakes or whatever.
Right.
So I started reading up books and on it, and I mean I became fixated the last 5 years. And first I got interested in, your little, your abduction stories. You want to hear
Right.
the creepy green men, what they do to you.
Yeah. 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 Yep.
And then you evolve,
Mm-hmm.
and it's something bigger than, the green guys with lasers,
Right. That's right.
you evolve, and I've evolved. And so it started from, I want to know everybody's abduction stories, the weird, creepy crap. And then it led me 5 years later. It led me like to God, not in like a weird religious way,
Mm-hmm.
but like it's like it's just crazy the transformation. It's like now I'm more. I love the UFO subject, but now I struggle with the whole alien or the angel demon thing. Or
Yeah.
where
But we
like
stay we stay away from the paranormal though. That's the one thing I want to stay out of is paranormal.
okay, like what would
Yeah.
you like? What would you consider that?
As long as we just deal with like UFO ET related subject
Yeah,
matter, that's good. But paranormal, I'm staying away from. There's like 10,000 TikTokers that talk paranormal. I just want to stay away from that energy, you know?
yeah, I got you. Yeah, like I'm not haunted by anything or
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
um but no, I just wanted to pretty much say like the UFO subject and the
Yeah.
people in it. I think is had a major thing to do with stopping drinking. You know, reading more, wanting to know more,
Yeah.
and um, you know, um, but I've seen like a couple craft, not up close, you know, but I'm not out there. You know, I go out and look at the stars every night, but you know, I'm not begging for something to come see me, you know, because be careful what you
Right.
wish for. You know, it might
Right.
not be. You
Well,
know,
you know that if you're out there looking at the stars, this is the
yeah,
one thing that you can learn to do
yeah,
is say that I only wish to contact with Christed star people, and that's it. You this way, if you do initiate saying in your meditation when you're out there in the field or at night, you say I will only allow contact with Christed star people of light. You have to be
okay,
very specific. If you don't do that, then anything, well, less of the negatives are going to come through now because they're being kicked off planet. But if you want to make sure that you have the right kind of beautiful contact, you have to say, I will only connect with Christed star people. That's it. If you're not a Christed star being or person or grouping of people, I will not communicate with you. And you have to, if you say it firmly with like
yeah,
conviction, that's what you need to do. I'm reading
okay,
your energy. You haven't done that yet, but you need to start doing that.
yeah. When I first started, I would go out and I would say something like, you know, I'm here. Are you? And you know, I don't know if that was just my very first attempt. You know,
Yeah,
but I didn't put any like only if
right.
you have my best interest at heart. You know,
Right. So
those.
instead of saying I'm here are you, which is very open to being very general response, you
Yeah,
say I am a Christed being of light. I wish to know are there any star beings of the Christed consciousness that I'm connected to? Please, if you are strictly within the Christ consciousness, I'm willing to communicate with you. If you're not, you may not communicate with me. So you set the boundaries of communications.
yeah,
That's what you do, you
yeah.
know?
I have no uh, interest in dealing with anything
Yeah,
negative. You know what I mean? Like, if it
right.
ain't gonna better me, even if it shakes my world for the better, that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
know, but yeah, I definitely didn't want to attract anything negative. So
Right.
as I matured on researching and learning, watching the shows, reading the books, that
Mm-hmm.
was a very what would you, maybe an immature way of going at it, but it was
Right.
I
Well,
shouldn't
it's
have
a
put
learning. It's a learning experience, right?
it
It's
is
like when you have this experience, you don't know what you're going to have happen. For me, when I was a kid, I just happened to go in my brother's room. For people that know my history, in the mid '60s, before I was a teenager, I went upstairs from my kitchen. My brother was downstairs. My parents were downstairs. I went upstairs, and for no reason, went upstairs into my brother's room, which is a bigger room. Opened his wooden shades. There was a spaceship in the cul-de-sac. I mean, hovering at night with like a white fog around it, and in the ship there were men, women, and children that were actually wearing spacesuits. They were like a light blue suit, and they were beautiful. I mean, the people looking at me from the ship, all of them were beautiful. And the experience I had was of like a beautiful energy. It was like they were telepathically communicating with me. It was like the most beautiful experience I've ever had. And when I share that story, is because I never forgot that story. That story has been with me in my consciousness my whole entire life,
yeah,
you know? So, if you've not had the experience like I'm sharing, you could, but it has to take discipline. It has to be knowing what you're doing when you're going out there and saying, I wonder if I'm ever going to have an experience. You want to make sure you have the right experience. You want to make sure
yeah,
you have the interaction with the star galactic people that are positive beings,
yeah,
because the negative ones, they're being thrown off the planet, but they still will try to lurk in and sneak in and connect with somebody. You just have to be very aware of it, know what's
yeah,
going on, and all that stuff. So, yeah, I think if you follow some of the guidelines I'm mentioning on the show here,
yeah.
you'll eventually have your experience. You know. You
Yeah,
will.
yeah. And one time I'd go out back and I'd meditate to the stars, whatever, see what's out there. And if I got a bad vibe, I'd come back in because that's happened before. Like
Yeah.
because what's it called when you don't like see ghosts or see things, but you can feel.
Well, if let's say, for example,
What's
any
that
kind
word
of
called?
you have a sensitivity. Like, for example, if you had an extraterrestrial watching you and they were cloaked, you would have a feeling about it. Like, for
Yeah,
example, I know when there are space people here. We have 4 space people in my house that are watching over us. I'll know when they're here. I can feel their energy. They don't show themselves, but I know they're here. So it's like you
yeah,
have a sensibility. You have a feeling of that energy, and it pulls into you, and you're like, oh, wait a minute. And there you say, well, I know there's something here. Someone's here with
yeah,
me. And a lot of times the space people in this category, I can say that I know that there's 4 Ashtar Command space people in my house that are cloaked. They're here to basically watch over us and protect us. In your particular case, if you have eventually a positive feeling of experience with a space
hmm
being, you'll know it, you'll feel it, and that the only person that's going to feel it is you because you're the one in the house or the apartment or the condo that's having that experience, right?
yeah.
So that's
And
the way it kind of works a little bit.
and the only time I've actually like heard something like in my house, uh, I wouldn't, this ain't ghost related or
Mm-hmm.
nothing like that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, was and this was probably only 3 weeks ago. My wife.
Yep. Okay. Weird things do happen on encounters, folks. Maybe okay. Did you have a phone call? Something coming? You just went paused out.
I had to plug my charger in,
Oh, charge.
but
Okay.
but what the weird thing was is the first experience that I've had. I've had my some dead friends call my name in my ear. I had voices I don't recognize. Like I'm about to. Like I swear, my house was saved from burning down by someone whispering in my ear. And I went in the other room, and sure enough, there was about to be a huge fire. But
Yeah.
about 3 weeks ago, I'm laying in bed, and I always keep the fan on, for the noise. And this might sound crazy, but it was a day after my birthday, and clear as day, right when I hop in bed, um, I'm hearing "Happy Birthday" being sung, but it sounds like it's on the other side of the fan, like when you talk
Mm-hmm.
into it, and it's like a Star Wars
Right.
sound, but
Right.
it
Right.
was music and it was like singing, like, and I'm thinking, I woke my wife up the next morning. I just sat up, I wasn't scared or nothing. It was just hella creepy,
Right. Right.
and yeah, I told my you know wife about it, the next morning and stuff, and but uh, I didn't get no like negative vibes or nothing, but
Mm-hmm.
that was like
Hmm.
a really, really heavy audio. I
Hmm.
mean, and it was in a girl's voice, and it was calming and stuff. But I mean,
Hmm.
I'm sitting straight up looking at the fan, like, is this happening? But I
Right.
was thinking,
Right.
is this a mimic because I just had a
Right.
birthday? Is this
Right.
a guardian, a loved one singing to me, or is this a mimic? You know, like
Yeah.
that's where I was kind of at with it, but I didn't feel bad about it.
There you go. There you
Just
go.
pretty creeped out, you know.
Well, anyway, well, the thing I want you to really focus on is focus on your cosmic spiritual enlightenment. Focus on that level and put the other stuff beside you, like you put it in a little neat box, so to speak, and take yourself and really focus on your consciousness to elevate to a cosmic state of consciousness
Mm-hmm.
to where you will be able to eventually connect with what we call your star family. You know,
Yeah,
yeah, most definitely. So I appreciate you being on here, Mellow Punk.
yeah. No,
Joining
I
us.
appreciate you being on here because
Oh yeah,
if I didn't, I watch your show, as much as I can, but I haven't told any of this stuff except for to my wife, and
Hmm.
she hasn't told nobody. So this is the
Hmm.
first time I felt comfortable enough to actually talk about it, and people not, you know, I can't talk to my parents about it. Oh,
Right.
what are you
Well, this
drunk?
is always my
You
show has
know,
always been a safe place.
it is.
I love everybody. I honor everybody, and everyone's all the experiences I've interviewed people with. Just to let people know, any of the shows you're watching now are on my YouTube channel. My YouTube channel is Ashtar Command Spaceship News. It's
Mm-hmm.
Ashtar Command Spaceship News. All my previous shows from my nighttime shows and even the morning shows we're doing here are on my YouTube channel. So check that out. Some great interviews we've had with people. And if you missed a show, you can watch them as well.
Are you coming on at 11 again tonight?
11 tonight we'll be on. And then tomorrow night we'll be going on at 8 o'clock in the field at the Apple Orchard.
Okay.
So yeah, we're going to be on tonight at our normal time. I want to thank you, Mellow Punk, and I think also
Yeah.
there's another person who wants to come on here. So we're going to do a few more interviews today on the morning show, and then I'm going to be going to the Crystal Shop uptown and checking with those folks for a little bit. Hey, Mellow Punk, thanks for coming on here on
Hey,
Encounters.
yeah. Thank you for what you're
Yeah,
doing. Because, like I said, if I wouldn't have came across your show, a while back, I don't think I would have felt comfortable enough. I
yeah.
haven't even told my best friend. You know.
Yeah. So, and the
So
thing is, we do a show versus a lot of TikToks. When I first came on here, I saw a lot of people. They don't do shows. They basically get on, host their TikTok, and then they argue about really ridiculous
yeah.
things and waste a lot of energy. So
Or
we
if
don't
you
do that.
don't, or if you don't believe exactly what they're saying, your story's full of
Yeah.
crap. And
Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
seen
Yeah. We don't do that.
you treat people really well, no matter how far out their story is, and
Yeah.
somewhere out there. And no, I just want to thank you for that, because you know, that this was the first time I was able to talk about it, and I already feel better about it. So
There you go.
what you're doing is great.
All
So
right, brother. You
I
just follow
appreciate it.
some of my cosmic instructions, and I want to see what happens
I will. I wrote
down
down.
the road. Okay.
I've been taking notes.
All right, sounds good. Well, we're
All
going to
right,
let you
buddy.
go, and I'm going to bring up, let's see who I'm going to bring up. Let me see here. Center Star. We haven't talked to Center Star, I think, in a long time. Center Star is our next guest on Encounters. You're watching the number one spiritual UFO talk show. Please press the buttons there where you has the like button. I want all 146 of you to press the like button. There's another person on here. We're trying to get up to 200 who has had encounters. But Center Star, good morning.
Good morning. It's
How you
been a
doing?
while.
Yes, it's been a while.
Well,
So,
I came on your show a few months ago and we talked about a bunch of
yeah.
the UFO stuff I'd seen, Hollow Earth and all that. But I have something that's out of left field, but it's pretty very interesting. If
Hmm.
it seems like the day after our eclipse, which is our moon moving from west to east as the Earth rotates, as you know, that
Hmm.
can cause exceptionally high tides, but nothing massive. But what is showing up in TikTok news and otherwise is that the day after the eclipse, an anomaly showed up coming north from Antarctica, like something that's going from south to north that is
Hmm.
causing a gravitational bulge of waves in the 87-foot range. And it
Hmm.
moved up the coast of Africa, and then it's heading towards the Atlantic. And they're warning that there's going to be inland flooding over the next 48 hours of extremely high flooding. I don't
Hmm.
know to what levels, but it's going hundreds of miles inland. Mr. MB.
Oh, are you
So
talking about a spaceship or some sort of craft?
I would think that this would have to, if it was a craft, it would be huge. But I'm thinking more so of a other extra solar body, like another planet or something that we're not seeing that's on the day side of Earth.
Are you talking about Narubu?
Um, no,
Narubu's because Narubu is one that I'm very aware of. There's a lot of stuff out there, and can you quote the source of the information you're sharing?
Well, it's just all over TikTok, and what's interesting about it is that if it was just literally one of these planets, though, you would think that the bulge would move from west to east as it traveled north, but it's just traveling north through the, through the south up towards the Atlantic, which means it may be in orbit with us or staying in a specific spot around the Earth versus going up, which would maybe mean maybe a very, very large craft that we're not seeing. Who knows? But
Right.
yeah,
So
it's
so
like
with these
a tsunami, but it's a slow moving tsunami. So it's just bulging the ocean.
yeah.
It's not like where you have an earthquake and it disrupts the water and you have mega fast waves that come in.
Yeah.
This is more like
The,
it's pulling the whole entire ocean upwards.
so all these TikTokers that are, I've seen a lot of stuff like this. Or one TikTok video that supposedly these guys were looking at what looked like a rainbow, and they're claiming that it was this huge planet that after the eclipse happened showed up. So there's a lot of stuff out there. The question is, how much of it is where these people are all saying this is happening? Where are they getting their information from? That's the news part of me that, the trained news person from
That's why
college
I'm bringing
days.
it to you. I'm not claiming
Yeah.
it as fact.
I know you're not. I know you're not.
Yeah.
I would take it with a grain of salt until, there's more information. And also the other part is I'm not feeling anything coming through. Like,
There
yeah.
there were a couple eclipse videos where people saw craft going across the
Yeah.
sky or
Yeah.
sparkling and twinkling at the
Well,
same
that
time.
that that story is true. I was on this other platform. There was somebody actually, my friend Opal Star. She slowed the frames down, and during the eclipse or after it was a spaceship going through very quickly. I mean, if you didn't slow the frame down, it just went like right there. I didn't post it because it went viral already, and too many people have already posted it. I look for things that are not that no one's ever seen before. So, but I've seen different frames of that video, and it was actually a non-terrestrial spaceship, the one that was in the video.
Yeah, no. So what they're seeing this on supposedly is
Hmm.
like we have buoys out there that do data of wave height, and so they're calling it a dark anomaly. That doesn't mean it's making, there's doesn't mean that there's like
Right.
a dark circle in the ocean. It just means that it's extreme wave height.
Hmm.
And to me, it looks like a gravitational bulge. The issue is with Earth rotating. If indeed Earth is rotating, it would have to be in orbit with us or a large craft that is with us. Some people, now this is really reaching, but
Hmm.
with the difference in appearance of our sun, some people believe that we have already launched. Like China, they already admitted China has an artificial sun. Some people think they had it a while back and they already launched it. Thus, the color changed from our orange sun to a indigo colored sun, and that sun is in the same orbit or position in relation to us that our regular sun is. So that lunar eclipses still work, solar eclipses still work. However, if anything's passing in front of our real sun, we wouldn't
Hmm.
see it. So some people claim we're actually in the 3 days of biblical darkness right now, and
Yeah,
if that's
a
the
lot
case,
of
it
a
would
lot.
line up.
Yeah, so a lot of these people that are creating this content, and that's why the command has me looking at very little content on social media, because it's all created by human beings that are creating content, whether they think they have the thing. And that with the AI information, they can create AI images to say this is what's happening, and it'll look really extremely real. So I would say take a lot of the content of YouTube and TikTok creators with a grain of salt, everybody, because they frankly are creating things to make you believe a certain specific thing that they want to, in an image way, want you to kind of gravitate towards. But I know I can tell you from my own experiences, unless I physically feel that or see it myself, beyond somebody creating it on TikTok or YouTube, I just don't deal with it because there's a lot of stuff out there. Like there are people that were saying there were on the extremes of the eclipse that the world was going to end and this was going to happen, and nothing like that happened, because these people come with a consciousness that they have some sort of agenda in wanting to create something that might be fear-based or whatever it is. But in essence, it didn't happen. We do know that that our Earth and our Moon, so to speak.
Kimberly, I'm just throwing out a few ideas out there. I'm not saying they're factual, but
Right. He's
Kimberly's
not saying that
asking
at
a
all.
good question. Yes, the moon does always start east, Kimberly, but the thing is when you have a solar eclipse, what you'll see is that the moon actually moves across the sun from
Right.
west to east while setting in the west, and that's because the moon goes around Earth much slower than the Earth spins. So the effect of the sun and the moon setting west is Earth spinning
Right.
faster. So if you observe the moon at night and it's a full moon, and that's coming in about a week or so when it'll be on the night side of Earth, and you
Right.
see stars that are just to the right of it or planets, by the end of the night, they'll be on the left side of it. Or
Right.
no, sorry, if they're on the left side of it, they'll be on the right side of it, but it'll still set to the west. Sorry, it's the other direction. So from west to east. So
Right.
yeah, so if they're just on the left side and then you're looking at the moon throughout the night, you'll see that it has moved visually about 2 inches to the east in comparison to the stars, but it still sets west. That's how it works.
Yeah. And
Anyways, I
also,
just thought I would mention it
I'm
because
glad
it's
you
all
came up.
over.
No, it's been a while, man. I'm glad you came up to share some opinions and what you've been hearing
Well,
out there on the social media.
that's what was confusing me, and I wanted to pass it by you, is because it's just literally showing it going up the coast of Africa and then expanding
Yeah.
in the Atlantic. And with the Earth rotating, it just doesn't make sense unless this thing is some ship that had parked in orbit.
Yeah.
And I wanted to know if you'd heard anything about a mega ship
No,
or anything
I
from
haven't.
anyone.
I can tell you, thank you, Gramps. I can tell you and everybody else out there that there are fleets of Ashtar Command represented ships that are coming to Earth, and they're coming now. They're coming continuously. They're coming from so far away from our actual planetary system. When these ships come, there's going to be fleets of these ships that are coming in now. They're slowly getting here, but they are coming here. But yeah, I haven't heard I wasn't really tuned into a lot of that. The only time I get tuned into any content is if it's actually real content with real information. But no,
Yeah,
I'm glad you came up here.
really quick, Kimberly, before I go, another thing is if you watch a lot of the solar eclipse videos that were through telescopes, it flips the image so it looks like the moon's coming from the left to the right, but that's not the way it really looked when we were looking at the eclipse. It definitely goes from the west to the east, but it's just because it's an artifact of actually recording a solar eclipse through a telescope that flips the image, just so you know.
Yeah, yeah. All right, there, Center Star.
Y'all
Don't
have a
be a
good day.
stranger, man. Don't
You
be
too.
a stranger. If you come up,
But if
if
you
you
do
see
hear
other stuff,
anything,
yeah,
or if we do get some coastal flooding, we'll see. We'll see. But if you
yeah,
do hear anything, let me know.
yeah, no problem. Hey, you take care, Center Star. He's
Peace.
been a guest on our show before, and we're going to do this here. I want to thank him for coming on. And we are here. It's about 11:02. We've been on since I don't know what time we started on here. But this is a show we're doing today. A little bit. I'm going to be getting out of here in a little bit to just do a few things and go up to the crystal shop. I want to see who else we want to have here. We are interviewing people. Awake in Seat. I like that name. Awake in Seat. We'll bring Awake in Seat up with us. We're having some great interviews with people this morning. Hey, Awake in Seat. Awake in Seattle, not Seat. What am I saying here?
Good morning.
And good to have you with us on the West Coast. How's everything going?
You know what? We got sun in Seattle today, and that's a good thing.
Well, I'm following you. Did you want to come on camera? You're able to do that? Do you know how to work the TikTok camera?
Well, I'm still in bed.
Oh, forget that. Don't worry about that. No, we'll let you just have the voice going on there. Can you give some background about yourself and what you wish to share in terms of what we deal with here on Encounters?
Well, I just came across your page, and I've been watching you live, and I thought this is cool, and so I'm gonna follow you right now. There you go.
I'm following you too. My show's normally on at night. It's a very popular program. I'm a talk show host on NPR Radio on WESU FM every
okay.
Sunday in
Excellent.
Connecticut. So I'm also a contactee from the 60s with the Ashtar Command, and I work at that level. I work in cosmic Christ consciousness I do workshops. I'm sort of like an open book, you might say. But welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you. Okay, well, love and respect.
Yes, yes, same back.
So, what do I want to talk about?
Like, have you had any experiences? I know you just found my show. Like, we talk about people being visited by star people, space beings, Bigfoot, crop circles, fairies, mer people. The essence of the show is strictly pretty much the whole cosmic realm
I love it.
of inter. Yeah, that's what we do here.
um, um, Out of body experiences. Um, I remember the first time I felt the Holy Spirit, and I get stories like that. I've got.
Yeah. Yeah, that one helped. I mean, but I mean, if you're, I mean, I can tell, I can read your energy. I do that also with people because I don't come from Earth. I come from Mars originally,
Uh-huh.
and I came out of the closet many years ago as a kid. Then I went back in the closet until I became an adult, and then I went back out of the closet when I did my radio show. Started my show 21 years ago on NPR radio. They let me get on, do my thing, and I said, okay, I'm just going to come out of the closet. And so I'm from Mars originally, and there's about 10 to 15 million inhabitants on Mars that are very spiritual. The planet's very different from Earth. The people are very different than on Earth, and very loving energy. They work in a very spiritual, Christed consciousness.
That's awesome. I just I used to poke fun at the people that said they were flat earthers until about 2 or 3 years ago. I started to go, wait a minute. I started to listen, and so I guess I'm fairly new to.
A lot of things. So let me explain something to you. I don't get into the flat Earth people. They're all over TikTok, and the round the round Earth people have arguments with the flat Earth people, and then the
Yeah.
square people,
I didn't come here
the
to do
diamond
that.
people. I know you didn't, but I will say from where I come from off planet, just to let Earth people know that all the planetary systems are circular.
Okay.
They're not
Yeah.
square. They're not whatever. But that's just for informational stuff. But
Yeah,
anyway,
yeah.
go ahead.
I'm with you on circular for sure. I guess my question is there any truth then to this, to Admiral Byrd and heading and checking out and discovering more land than we've been told is actually on our maps, that kind of thing?
Yeah, yes, it is true. Matter of
Okay.
fact, my
Yeah.
friend Graham Bethune, he's no longer around. He was a well-known person. He went to one of our Ashtar gatherings years ago in Connecticut. He was in the Navy. He was on a plane in over Iceland, and they saw the spaceships coming out of the North Atlantic Ocean, north of Greenland, north of Iceland. And Admiral Byrd, actually, if one reads his story, he went to the North Sea, the water ended, and he was taken on a ship into the inner Earth, where he was taken and he got to meet many of the different space people, they look just like us. He
Yeah.
met others that were bigger than us, way bigger,
Huh?
and it is real. There are entrances into what you call the Unearth, the Agartha network. It's very much real.
Yeah.
The Earth is, our planet is what I would tell people, a hollow planet. It's not, as we were taught, like just a bunch of rocks with a core of lava in the middle. That's all a bunch of lies. Our planet has intergalactic civilizations living within the Earth. And in certain mountain areas around the world, there are entrances into the inner Earth. Mount Shasta, the city of Telos, what was called Lemuria. The Lemurians went into the inner Earth, and they are part of what is called the city of Telos. And
Wow.
also the entrances in the high Himalayan mountains. There are Tibetan monks that guard the entrances into the inner Earth. In the high mountains of the Himalayas, there's an entrance that no one can go through. The monks are there. They guard the entrance, and no one can go in there into the inner Earth because they guard the entrances into the whole aspect of the inner Earth. And the people that live in the inner Earth, there's a sun within our Earth.
Yeah, I've heard
And
that before.
yeah, that does exist. Admiral Byrd got to see of all those things.
Wow.
I've studied Admiral Byrd for years, and his stories are very, very accurate and very true.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yes.
I mean,
Yeah.
so anyway, I'm fairly new to thinking this way and or being woken up to this,
Mhm.
but I'm leaning that direction. I believe it to be true. I do. So
Well, I'm glad you came up here, and I'm following you. And our show normally is on at 11 o'clock at night. but I'm trying to do some morning shows when I can. So yeah, definitely, I appreciate you coming up here.
Well, I call it serendipity. I'm just running.
Yes.
Thank you. I will
Yeah,
be
yeah.
listening again. God
All
bless.
right, brother. Good to
Thank
have
you.
you with us in Seattle.
Yes.
Awake in Seattle. There we go.
Thank you.
And see,
Bye-bye.
we're bringing all kinds of beautiful people up here. A lot of new people. So this is CmdrAleon. You're watching our morning show here, Busting the Matrix in the morning here on TikTok, the number one spiritual UFO talk show anywhere. You'll never get bored watching me on here. I'm going to tell you. You won't see me argue with people. We're not. We won't see me do anything. We won't be wearing any kind of crazy stuff on here. What we do is very serious, and also we try to help people out here. I do workshops and so forth. So welcome all the new people to the show. We're glad you found us. This is Encounters. You probably heard about us. Please follow us. We're at almost 20,000 likes. We want to get up to 100,000 likes today. Also, please support us. We have one of 8 hanging lights. So we're doing the hanging lights right now. If you do support the content, if you do support what we're doing, you can also go to my main page, and my Cash App is Venmo. So if you wish to make any kind of donation, I'll leave that up to you. That's my Venmo app. Become a subscriber for 31 of 100 subscribers here on my TikTok. Become a subscriber. You choose the subscription that you want to do. Please tap, as Betsy said. Everybody tap. If everybody gets involved in tapping, that gets our likes up incredibly high. So I can tell you right now, we've had 3,400 people since I've been on to this morning watch our show or watch parts of our show. 3,400 people. See, I can track it. 3,400 people have actually been here watching our show. Thank you, Down the Rabbit Hole. Yes, and we certainly are doing that. I'll stay on till about maybe another 10 or 15 minutes. I got things to do here, and I'm just trying to get myself prepared for things and things we have to do. So I want to say I appreciate all the people this morning that have come in here. I send my love to everybody out there, and it looks like our weather's going to be getting sunny in Connecticut around 4 o'clock, and the weekend should be good. All right, so let's see where we are here. And any last minute new people that wish to share a story, we'd love to hear it. Again, to be on here, you have to have over 200 people following you. Jared just resubscribed. Thank you, Jared. Monique Bridges, good morning. And also, if you want to be a guest, you have to have over 200 followers. You have to be over 18 years of age. Number 2, no smoking at all. No matter what it is you're smoking, don't smoke. Drinking, drugs, nope, out of the question. And also, no paranormal discussion. So we don't talk paranormal. You're on Encounters, so there you go. I turned 50 on the 9th, and world didn't end. There you go. And so, yes, all these content creators that make these sensational videos about the world ending or the planet cracking, don't believe it. All right. Good. Hope something I saw. I hope you see something incredible too, Gramps. Kimberly says I found a portal. Now we're just reading some comments here. All right, folks. I think we're going to call it a morning, and we'll be back on later, maybe before 11 o'clock. We're going to see what happens here. So we're going to say good morning to everybody. Thank you for being here. This is CmdrAleon. This was the morning show. We have a couple. This show will be put on my YouTube channel. I want to thank you all. Please, I'd like to actually finish getting the gifts. So if you have not done the hanging lights, we have 7 lights I want to have people take. How you get a hanging light to me is by having enough TikTok coins to do it. So I need 7 more people to volunteer unconditionally to give me hanging lights. The hanging lights are the ones above the screen. I want to thank all of you for being here. Susan Murray, welcome to the show. We'll see if we get those hanging lights. By doing that, you're helping support the mission work I'm doing in general. So we appreciate the TikTok gifts. You can do any gifts you want right now. Hanging lights is one of them. Whatever you wish to do, galaxies, lamps, whatever it is on TikTok. Venus, thank you for a hanging light. I appreciate that. So we have 6 more to go, and then I can sign off for the day on the show here and get to do other things that I need to do here. Down the rabbit hole, thank you. Thank you. Let's see. Oh, Angie Baby, thank you. TK, thank you. We appreciate that very much. We appreciate all of you out there. Thank you so much. We're at 50% on my goal here. Susan Mary, thank you very much. We appreciate it. We have 4 more lights to go. Let me see if I can actually accomplish my goal. And we're going to try to do that. We have 3 more to go. I just need 3 more lights, and then I'll have accomplished my morning goal here. I always have a goal as a commander. I always have a goal no matter what I do. And I want to always complete the goal, Susan, thank you again. You're amazing. And we're now at approximately Angie Baby, thank you. I'm almost at my goal. I'm 80% of my goal. And we have 1 more to go. 1 more hanging light. And then I'm going to thank everybody in general for all your gifts, whether it be, Susan Mary, that's amazing. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay. A good morning stretch. The commander's stretching out a little bit here. So we're going to get in some fresh air outside. And even though it's kind of cloudy, we're going to enjoy the day. I want to say thank you. We'll be on tonight. Everybody have a great day and have a good weekend. This is CmdrAleon, your host of Encounters. And always keep your eyes to the skies, no matter what. Take care.